Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are back with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links action, and as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are going to be talking about the second ritual deck, I guess, that came out of the new box, Soldiers of Chaotic Soldiers, I think is what it's called. Chaotic Soldiers. Anyway, let's talk about BLS. And more importantly, Stick and Chair. Stick and Chair are busted. Stick and Chair deserved to be limited. You cannot change my mind. Let's talk about this real quick. First of all, let's talk about Super Soldier. This card is insane. And it's actually not insane for the card effect text that it's got right here. So, real quick, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its attack in the graveyard. Good to know. It's 3,000 attack for 2,500 defense. Nothing too special. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, it floats into a Gaia the Fierce Knight monster. There you go. Pretty simple. We're not playing any Gaia the Fierce Knight monsters. Why? Because they suck. What we are playing is Master of Rights in order to get into this card and or this card, Super Soldier Synthesis. What this card says is you can ritual summon any Blackluster ritual monster from your hand or graveyard, which is important. Graveyard is very important. You must also send a light and dark monster, one from your hand and one from your deck, to the graveyard, whose total levels equal exactly 8. Really solid. Now, why is this important? Well, let's talk about these two cards. Evening, Twilight Night, and Beginning Night. Now, we're only playing one Beginning Night because it is the light version, whereas Twilight Night is the dark version. Again, the reason for this is pretty important. We're playing other light monsters, whereas we are not really playing other dark monsters that would fit the requirements for Super Soldier Synthesis. So, Evening, Twilight Night does, or gives the effect to our Super Soldier this. Once per turn, you can target a monster your opponent controls, banish it. And once per turn, you can banish one random card from your opponent's hand face down until the opponent's next end phase.
You can use both of these effects on the same turn.
Meaning, you can banish a monster your opponent controls and banish a card face down from their hand. Just this one card can do that. It gives that effect to your Super Soldier. Your Super Soldier becomes a true Super Soldier. This card also allows you to banish a monster your opponent controls, and it also allows you to, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, make a second attack. On top of the burn effect, you basically kill your opponent every time. If they have a monster on the field, they're dead. And you can banish their monster if you so chose. And you can banish a card from their hand until their next end phase. Meaning they can't even use it on their turn. If you go second with the strategy, it's game over. So, what are we playing to help facilitate this strategy? Well, first of all, we need to draw into our cards. So, how do you do that? Well, the best draw engine in the game is Dark Lords. However, Dark Lords are incredibly limited, so you can't actually play them. So, what we're playing is the second best draw strategy in the game, Star Seraph. What this card does is, if you have Stick and Chair, you are able to get into a rank 4 that requires 3 level 4s, something like Ouroboros, something like Deltaros, or something like Thunder Spark Dragon, all of which are insanely great cards. Now, I have covered Stick and Chair previously, so I'm not going to get too much into it, but basically, every time you summon a monster while Sovereignty is on the field, every time you summon a Star Seraph monster, you draw a card. And you can special summon it if it's a Star Seraph monster, but that doesn't end up mattering all that much. And if you XZ summon it, you can target a monster, or target another card on the field and destroy it with this effect of Star Seraph Scepter. Meaning, if you end up going second, you can Stick, you can Chair, you will search another chair, you will you will summon the chair, you will draw a grand total of 2 cards from this effect, you will XZ summon into an Ouroboros or a Deltaros, you will pop another card, you will draw a 3rd card, and you will have an XZ on the field, a really solid one. Something like Ouroboros, something like Deltaros, that are insane cards in their own right. And then you will have the additional 3 cards, as well as potentially something like Cosmic Cyclone, in order to get you into your last combo piece. Cosmic Cyclone is utilized because of the fact that we are playing Master of Rites, which allows us to, every time we decrease our life points by 1,000, we can return a card to add either a random ritual monster or a random ritual spell, which is also why we are only playing 1 Blackluster Soldier Super Soldier. You really only need 1. There is no point to playing multiple. It's actually a brick. Because, as I mentioned previously, this card does allow you to summon it from the grave. So, basically, it's stick and chair with Blackluster Soldier. It's really solid. We're also playing 2 of the field spell, which searches. That's the only thing it does. It just searches this card. That's it. And then Book of Moon, because I had an extra card to utilize, and Book of Money. Let's throw it in there. Anyway, the extra deck kind of doesn't matter. The only things that really matter are Deltaros, Ouroboros, and Thunder Spark Dragon. Now let's hop into the duels and see how this deck performs. Alright, so here's our first duel, and we are up against Chaz Princeton going first. Also, this mat is incredible, and I wish I had it, but I don't, because I'm poor. Anyway, moving on, we are immediately going to activate our Gateway of Chaos in order to search out our Ritual Monster, and then we are going to activate the Star Seraph Scepter in order to search out our chair. Now, the reason we have that is because we have Stick and Chair already in hand, so we're able to go through the combo if we are able to survive the next turn. However, we actually ended up drawing a pretty good hand specifically against this deck. Oftentimes they will set a card here or there, and normally it's just 1 or 2. But Cosmic Cyclone is really good because most of the time it's something like Super Team Buddy Force, which is really nice to just banish instead of destroy. But they end up just going for the Berserkion here because they had all of the materials and they just attack into us. Now, that ends up not mattering because we do go for the Stick and Chair, and it's pretty easy game from here, and you will see why. So, first of all, we are going to draw a card, and then we are going to add a card, and then we are going to summon that card onto the field that we just searched and draw another card. And then we are going to go for Ouroboros. We are going to pop their field spell. The reason I didn't pop this guy is because if he is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, he's going to summon back all of these monsters. So that's also why we went for Ouroboros. Ouroboros says target a monster or target a card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Guess what? We're going to return it to the hand. Yep. So how many cards did we draw? Let's count. 1, 2, 3. We were able to search another card, and then we were also able to return one of our cards in order to search a different card. Meaning we searched 5, or we were able to see 5 different cards on our turn. Not including the card that we drew for turn. So 6 different cards on our turn. That's insane. Stick and Chair is insane, by the way. Anyway, let us continue with this duel. We are able to add our Super Soldier Synthesis, and since we had our Evening Twilight in the hand, we are able to send the Beginning Night to the graveyard. Then we are going to activate Super Soldier in order to pitch 1 from their hand and banish it face down, and then proceed to attack in for well over lethal. Alright, I have a lot of replays to get through, so I'm going to try to hurry through these pretty quickly. This is actually Lunalight. It's not Harpies, even though you might think it is. But we end up drawing 2 Sphere Karibo, which you will see comes in handy here in a second. Anyway, they're going to activate their Lunalight Fusion in order to pitch 3 cards to go for Lunalight Saber Dancer, which is very difficult for some decks to out. And it's not too difficult for us to out, except it can be targeted, which means things that target are going to end up being more detrimental. However, we kind of bricked. Hopefully this next draw ends up working for us. We actually ended up drawing into all of the cards that can be searched with our skill. So that was kind of really sad. But it ends up not mattering because we do end up drawing ourselves the Evening Twilight Night, which means we are going to be able to summon out our big boy Blackluster Soldier. We're going to pitch the card, or we're going to banish the card from the hand, and then we are going to be able to activate the effect of Blackluster Soldier Super Soldier to burn, to get a second attack, and to attack in for lethal over the defense position Saber Dancer. As you can see, it has only 2,600 and our guy has 3,000. So there you go, well over lethal. And here we are up against Joey Wheeler going second once again, and trust me, going second is insane with this deck. We end up breaking kind of once again. We do have the Sphere Karibo and 2 Cosmic Cyclones, and we already have the Evening Twilight Night, which means we can literally search the other piece. As long as we draw one of the pieces of the puzzle, we can search out the other one. So they are going to do their standard combo for a a Red Eyes deck, we're going to banish this Return of the Red Eyes. They're going to get their Archfiend. It doesn't end up mattering. Actually, it seals their own fate by summoning this guy. If they hadn't summoned it, we would have lost. Well, not entirely, but we could have lost. Anyway, we are going to summon out our Super Soldier because guess what? We did end up drawing one for a turn. We drew one of the pieces. What did we draw? We drew this guy, which means we were able to search out the second piece because they ended up setting a card, which is super solid. And then we are just going to proceed with our, banishing the entire field, attacking in, burning for 1200, and attacking in once again for well over lethal. Once again, a lot of stuff just happened. I banished 3 cards, as well as attacked 2 times, as well as burnt them for extra damage. This card, by itself, truly is a super soldier. Now, real quick, I just want to mention that if you've made it this far, you probably like the video, so make sure that you drop a like down below and subscribe. It does really help me out, and it tells me that you guys want to see more content like this. And so yeah, also leave a comment if I'm doing something that you don't like or that you do like, and let me know. Anyway, let's move on. We drew the chair, but we didn't draw the stick, which is kind of important. But we end up Cosmic Cycloning a Mask Change. They're going to Mask Change into Mask Hero Dion. It doesn't really matter what they go into here because we are able to search out our full combo piece. As you can see, we have basically everything for our Super Soldier. So we're going to just activate everything. We're going to send all of that stuff to the graveyard. We're going to summon out our Super Soldier. They've got an attack position 300 attack point attack position monster, meaning they are dead. It's just game over. I mean, we attack twice. What do you want? We attack twice, we burn them, we discard a card from their hand, or banish a card from their hand, we banish a card in the field. It doesn't matter, they die. Good game. And as you can see thus far, we haven't really had to utilize the stick and chair combo. We've utilized it once and it really did generate us a lot of advantage and definitely won us that game. But here you will see the true power of stick and chair. First of all, we are going to activate stick in order to search out that chair, and then we are going to set 2 cards and pass. Now, realistically, I could have just activated the effect of our Cosmic Cyclone to just banish this because I knew that it was inevitably going to happen, but I still wanted to do it anyway the way that I did. Now, they end up kind of bricking here because they don't actually have an effect to utilize here, but I'm going to make a very dangerous decision. I'm going to activate the second Cosmic Cyclone. So now I am down to 1,200 life points to try and get rid of this card. I ended up hitting the Swallow's Nest, which really kind of sucked, but it ends up not mattering all that much. If I had hit the Forbidden Chalice, it would have mattered, but we are not able to search out our card in order to go for the full stick and chair combo, but we do end up drawing another card, and we have a Sphere Karibo in hand, which means I am potentially protected, depending on what else they go for here. So I am going to protect during the battle phase, and once again, I make a very interesting decision. I'm saying, hey, I'm going to get rid of that back row with my Cosmic Cyclone. Honestly, the difference between 1,200 and 200 kind of doesn't matter all that much, so I'm just going to, you know, do that. And then they also are... the reason I did this as well was because I really wanted to get rid of that back row, and I wanted to do it while it didn't really matter which card they sent back to the hand. And so I just decided, yeah, let's do that. And then they made the worst decision they have ever made in their entire life by returning their own monster to the hand. They could have just not activated the effect. I get why they did it, but it really was a terrible decision. Because guess what? I draw into a level 4, which allows us to go into Ouroboros. Ouroboros is then going to pop that Harpy Lady, and then we are going to discard a card from the hand, and guess what? We got... Yep, Elegant Egotist. Now, I am really heavily relying on them not drawing anything, and they just surrender, so I don't know what they actually ended up drawing, but getting rid of that Elegant Egotist may have been the death sentence right then and there. There's not really much that they could have done to go, or to deal with our Ouroboros there. So, there you go. Game. And as you can see, this deck is actually really solid. It beats top tier decks as well as rogue decks. It's not the most consistent, but it does really perform when it needs to. I didn't even have to utilize Book of Moon in order to actually do well with this deck. But honestly, Blackluster Soldier Super Soldier is an insane card when it is buffed up by Evening Twilight Night and Beginning Night, both of which are actually insane. I would suggest running something like Jin if you could, but literally you can't run it. It doesn't work. It's a level 3. You need 2 level 4s. But honestly, Stick and Chair is insane. It generates so much advantage for you by allowing you to draw when it pops a card, allowing you to go into Ouroboros, one of the most crazy cards in the game. It allows you to target return a card. It allows you to send a random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard, and it also allows you to banish a card from your opponent's graveyard. All of which are insane effects. They're all really good. On top of that, just this card alone is able to OTK through so many boards. I don't know if you saw that Red Eyes game, but that was insane. The fact that I was able to literally get rid of everything on the opponent's board and deal burn damage and get a card out of their hand and attack for game. Like, it was just so much that I did with one card on the field. So, there you go. It really does feel like you're just buffing up a super soldier. And this is one of the most fun decks I've played from the new box, honestly. I will try to do another new box, the Sylvans most likely. But honestly, I've so enjoyed this new box. It's great. I would highly suggest investing into it if you enjoy a lot of these more fun, not free to play, but more fun, just rogue type decks. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much appreciated. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links action, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.